I can't buy the air I breathe. I can't buy the trees. I can't buy the deepest seas. But it don't matter, 'cause they're there for free.
Hello and welcome to Around the World in 88 Tales. I'm David Heathfield and I'm a storyteller here at the Royal Albert Memorial Museum in Exeter, and welcome wherever you are. The museum's an important place for me. I've been going to the museum since I was a child, a little boy, and it's full of wonder and adventure. I'd like to welcome a very good friend of mine. I've met Vera Cabrera Duarte here in the UK. I've also been to her home in São Paulo in Brazil. So it's wonderful to be with a close storytelling friend. Hi Vera, how are you?
Hi, how are you, David? I'm very pleased to be here with you this evening.
I'm pleased to be with you. And Vera, please could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in storytelling and this project?
I'm Vera Cabrera Duarte from Brazil. I teach English at the Catholic University of São Paulo. And I've always been very interested in arts, in the importance of the affective component in a classroom situation. And I have developed a project on drama in the classroom. And I met David when I was talking about this project in England. And then I started very interested in storytelling. It started when we had the storytelling events in the IHFO conference. And since then, David's been convincing me that I am a storyteller. And I have developed a project on storytelling lately. That's it.
Wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited about your initiative bringing storytelling more centrally into education in Brazil. So, right now, let me introduce today's museum object. And I'm fascinated by this object. I think it's absolutely incredible. Let me just find it. Here we are. So it's a whistle. Yeah, a whistle about this big. And it comes from Latin America, not from Brazil. It comes from Peru, in the north of Peru. And it's really ancient. It's over 1,400 to 1,500 years old. It's from the Moche civilization of northern Peru, a civilization that existed before the conquest of South America by the conquistadores. And it's made of clay. It represents a macaw, typical bird from South America. And as I said, it's a whistle. So it's got two chambers inside and a small ball inside to the head, and when you put water in it and you rock it or blow through it, you get a whistling sound. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to blow into this this object today. It's far too precious and ancient. But this idea of a bird and a singing bird, a whistling bird, is inspiring a story. I can also tell you this is a sacred object, so it would be put in a tomb for burial. Okay, So I'm going to tell you a story that this beautiful object makes me think of. It's not a story from Peru, it's a story from the Middle East. Here we go. Once there was a rich man, and this rich man kept a beautiful bird in a golden cage in his home. An Indian bird, brightly coloured feathers, and a wonderful singing voice. One day he said to his bird, "I am travelling on business to India. There, when I have conducted my affairs, I can bring you something. What do you want, my beautiful bird?" And that bright, shining bird inside the cage said, "All I want is to be free. Give me my freedom." "No, I will not give you that," said the rich man. "Ask for something else. While you are in India, find a bird like me. Tell that bird about me." Well, the rich man promised and set off. He conducted his business, and he remembered his promise. He went into the forest, and there he listened, and he heard the whistling bird. He knew that song. It was the same song as the bird in his cage. He went deeper into the forest until there he saw a tree, and in the tree were perched not just one but many birds, just like the bird he kept in that golden cage. "Indian birds," said the rich man. "I keep a bird just like you in a golden cage in my home." And when he said this, one of those birds fell from the tree onto the ground, lifeless. Oh, the rich man was full of sorrow. That bird, hearing my news, has died of a broken heart. He returned home, and when he reached his own bird in the cage, it asked, "Did you tell the birds in the forest about me?" "I did. And when I told them, one bird fell onto the ground dead." And when he said this, his own bird fell from its perch in the cage onto the floor of the cage, lifeless. "Oh no, now my own bird has died." He opened the door of the golden cage and lifted out the small body of the bird. He placed it by the window. Then the bird opened its wings and flew out of the window, alive and free. This is the story of how the bird in the forest taught the bird in the cage how to become free. The Indian bird is a story that was collected by Idris Shah and published many, many years ago. It's a Sufi tale, a story of wisdom. And I love the learning in that story, how the rich man communicated but didn't understand the message that he was communicating, because of course the bird in the forest was only pretending to die. I love that story. So wherever you are in the world, thank you, Vera. Wherever you are in the world, please tell us where you are. Tell us what you make of these stories. We're fascinated to know about who's with us today. Vera, did you enjoy that?
Well, very much. It's a beautiful story, very beautiful story.
Thank you, thank you. And is there a story that you would like to tell that this whistle makes you think of? By the way, before I do that, can I just show you? Look at this. I've got my own little bird whistle here.
Beautiful.
Vera, you're from Brazil. Are you going to tell us a story from Brazil?
I am going to tell a story from Brazil, and I'm going to tell a story, let's say, that has to do with this whistle.
Fantastic. Please tell us.
Well, the story is the guardian of the forest. 5 hunters decided to hunt in the Brazilian Amazon forest. They were very happy, preparing to enter the forest, when a woman approached and said, "Please don't go inside. There's something in there. It's dangerous. You shouldn't hunt." Well, the hunters were very good friends. They just looked at each other and went on hunting. So they entered the forest, and the leader said, "Ignore her. She doesn't know what she's talking about." A friend of mine came to the forest, and he returned with food for all his family. So let's hunt. And you see, no signs, no different signs. Everything is very normal here. No sounds, different sounds. So let's hunt. When he said it, they all heard a whistle. Coming from different directions. The leader said, "Is there anyone with us here? Is there someone else here?" No answer. But then the leader saw some footprints on the ground, fresh footprints. And it was very intriguing. And he said, "Well, it's strange because as far as I know, nobody entered this forest before us." But then the whistle sounds continued. And louder this time, and coming from more different directions. And then one of them said, "We'd better go back." So they remembered what the woman had said. Said, "No, we came here to hunt. That's what we are going to do. Let's go." But then he saw something different. This is mine. He thought it was the animal. So he primed his weapon to shoot, and then this thing disappeared and then appeared somewhere else. And then he said, "Can you see it? Can you see this?" And then he was very surprised. They all saw a boy in front of this creature between the trees. It was a bit dark and dense at that point. And they saw the boy. So, a boy. The boy had red hair. They looked at his face, and he had green face tint. The boy smiled. His teeth were green too. When they looked closer, his feet were backwards. And when the other hunter prepared to shoot the creature behind the boy smiled, and in a split of time, everything became different. The forest lit up with creatures, spirits, witches, lightning, thunders, and the whistles from all directions. They were terrified, and they said, "Run, let's go." But the creature started, together with the boys, chasing them. And they started to run. They were desperate. They were running through the trees, but they didn't know where to go. They were absolutely disorientated. They were in panic. But they ran as fast as they could. And finally, they were at the same spot where they entered. The lady was there, the woman was there, and she said, "Haha, I can see you met Curupira. Curupira is the guardian of our forest. You are not allowed to hunt more than you need. Curupira protects evil people like you from stealing and taking more than it's necessary. Thank God you survived. You must thank." Well, the hunters vowed not to enter into the forest again, at least to hunt for pure pleasure, except for one of them. This man went into the forest to hunt on the following day, and he was never seen again.
Wow, Vera, this is such a wonderful story, and it's so, it's a very old legend, the Curupira legend, isn't it, in the forest, but it's speaking to us even now, this need to protect nature, defend what is so precious, this diversity, this natural environment.
The flora and the fauna
and
our trees.
Thank you so much, Vera. A story from the Amazon. And you're here, aren't you, in São Paulo?
São Paulo.
Yeah, fantastic. Vera, thank you so much for being inspired by this wonderful, this amazing object from the museum, but to share such a wonderful story that takes us into those traditions and that heritage. Well, there's going to be another story share very soon, but right now I'd like to say again thank you to Vera Cabrera Duarte, a true friend and storyteller, and I'll give my greetings to your family, who I remember so well from when you looked after me when I visited your country. And
thank you very much.
Goodbye, Vera. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
The trees, I can't buy the deepest seas, but it don't matter, 'cause they're there for free.